it's Dave with Patriot Laser Engraving. Today I want to talk about a couple of things that we have on our store. One of the things that's the newest is the jig that we use for 20 and 30 ounce tumblers. The 30 ounce tumbler jig will be available shortly after Christmas this year. We just have to get some printed up and get them in stock before we ship them out. The way this particular jig works is you remove your existing 20 ounce tumbler lid, and then you take the 20 ounce tumbler jig and you insert it into the tumbler, just like this. Once it's inserted into the tumbler, then you're going to take that and you're going to chuck that up into your rotary. Now I can go into how we set up the rotary. I feel like that's, a lot of people are asking like, hey, can you show us how to use the rotary tool? I could do a video on that. However, everybody's settings are going to be different. I use Rotary Mark when I do this, and happy to show you how that works. First, let me show you how this thing chucks up into the rotary, and then we'll talk about a couple of the other things we have available on the store. So if you're looking at your chuck right here, basically the way this works is you take your jig and you place that over the top of your rotary, and then you chuck that up just like that. And then once that's inserted in, you're already mounted up and ready to go. And then of course you're just going to take that into EZCad and go from there. One of the nice features about this particular jig that I like, that when we designed it, was the fact that oftentimes you're going to be asked to burn something that would be on this side, and then they want something on the opposite side, 90 degrees. So we put these indexing notches so that if you're here and you want to mark the exact opposite side, all you do is rotate it 90 degrees until you're indexed here and you're ready to go. And you could do that, it's every 90 degrees right here on the jig. So it makes indexing quickly if you're trying to mark the opposite side. Maybe they want a name on one side or something like that. When you're finished, all you're going to do is basically unchuck it, remove the lid, pop it onto a new one, stick it back on there, and go. These jigs are pretty straightforward. We're pretty excited about them. It took us a little while to get the engineering down on these because they earlier versions, they would just fall off. These will not fall off, and they use the same O-ring that you'd find in your typical lid. So if this wears out on you, if you're like me, you've pretty much gone through a bunch of these tumblers, so you probably got a whole drawer full of spare O-rings that you could use on your tumbler jig. A couple of the other things that we have in the store is a 2-up business card holder. These are pretty slick because some people may not want to print a whole sheet of business cards. Myself, I don't really want to do that. I don't have a need to do that. It requires a larger lens to get a bigger marking area. I find that the 2-up jig works very well. These are available on the store as well. Also have, the standard 6mm wide bed jigs that you can hook up, and then also we have the screw holder, which you can mount to the side of your column, and it'll hold all your 6mm screws. It'll hold up to 20 of them. These are also available in the store. Again, the 20 ounce tumbler jig is available now, and it is shipping. And then the 30 ounce tumbler jig will be available after Christmas. We are wrapping that up now and printing a bunch of those, and they're going to be available. I'm going to go ahead and cut away from this video, and I'm going to go into EZCad on the next video, and I'm going to show you how I pretty much mark a tumbler with EZCad using this jig. So stay tuned.
Hey everybody, we're back into EZCad. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of things first. One of the things that I wanted to show you was a little trick that I learned in EZCad. I don't know about you, but I find it difficult to find the delete hatch button, and I have to uncheck the list bar, and then I can see my delete hatch button. Something I kind of discovered by accident, actually. If you just left click and hold the object list and drag that to the right, you can detach that and now see everything in one view. Okay, so before we get into anything, I wanted to explain that down the road here I'm going to talk about the Rotary Mark settings, but before we do that, you need to record a particular system parameter. You should have this anyway, but it's your working space for your lens. You click the tools, click on workspace, and you need to record everything on this particular screen here. Know your X and Y axis and then your size, because you're going to change that and EZCad will not remember, even if you exit and go back in, your original workspace. So you have to know this, and I'll show you what happens here in a minute. Alright, so now that I have everything inside EZCad, my logo is brought up here. I like to set my speed, my power, my frequency, and then my hatch, get all that done. I verified on my working area that the object that I'm burning is level to the rotary, and that I've got my focus and everything set to where I need it. The next thing I want to do is go into Rotary Mark, and from here you're going to see your split size, your part diameter, and your focal length, and mark by split line. Now mark by split line, by the way, if this is checked, it ignores the split size, and you can left click in your picture here and it'll place a split line, or you double click rather, and then it's going to start burning here, double click, it's going to burn all this, then it's going to move to the next location, to the next, it'll burn all that before it moves to the next location. So if there's a reason why you want to have a start and stop for your split, you can do that. To remove them, you right click the line and it'll get rid of that. If you have mark by split line unchecked, it's going to go by your split size. Okay, now if you have a large diameter object that's in your rotary, and it's, I don't know, let's say it's 200 millimeters. I mean, maybe you got something big in there, right? And I made this mistake where I did not hit refresh. If you don't hit refresh, then it would come out oblonged, and it doesn't know how to span that across the diameter of your object. Some people just hit part diameter, hit OK, and think they're good. That's not true. You have to hit refresh. When you do that, here's why it was important to record your workspace settings. When I hit refresh and hit quit here, you'll notice that my workspace has changed. See how it's changed its parameters here? And if I come into my workspace, you'll see all this has changed. You have to put that back if you're not going to use your rotary, so that you have a proper workspace. So I'm going to go back into Rotary Mark. I have verified my settings. My part diameter is 78 millimeters. And I am ready to go ahead and burn. I have my speed, power, and frequency. I have my hatch set. I have my focus. I'm level. My laser source is on. My lens cap is removed. Yes, that has happened. And I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here. We'll burn this and we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Alright everybody, there it is with the jig. Worked out great. These are available on the store. I'm really happy to say that after Christmas we'll have the 30-ounce tumbler jig as well. So both of these will be out in the store. I want to thank you all. We hit our 500 subscribers benchmark, and I am super excited about that. I want to thank you all for that. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so that you know when I put some new videos out. And I just want to thank you all for supporting the channel, for supporting Patriot Laser Engraving. This is how we pay the expenses to keep things going. And I really appreciate all the support that you've given me, and I look forward to putting some more information out there. This is Dave with Patriot Laser Engraving, and as always, I wish you a happy holidays, safe and happy holidays, and a Merry Christmas.